Hello, hello. This is Whatcast. I am Matt, and this week there is no Lee on the show. Lee unfortunately lost his uncle this week, so therefore doesn't feel up to doing the show. That's completely fine and fair enough. Condolences to Lee and his family on their loss. It's changed the plans a little bit this week on the show. We didn't really have a topic, but we usually these days we're kind of like making things up as we go, and doing news stories and stuff, as well as like a big main story or main topic or whatever. But we didn't really have anything this week. I've been very busy this week, so it's kind of okay. I'm feeling, because of the feedback I get from these type of shows, to put out another one of the flat Earth debates that I do sometimes on the TikTok. Obviously, for those people watching, there is no audio. There is no video. Not no audio. That'd be useless, wouldn't it? No video of this, but you'll just be listening to the audio with a bit logo up or something. I'll put up in the audio there. But it's quite an interesting debate. It's things that I've recorded over time. I keep them for occasions like these when I need to put something out, and I know that there's a big part of the audience that like these debates, and there's some people that can't stand the flat Earth stuff, especially flat Earthers. But there's a lot of people that are giving more and more feedback on flat Earth, and there's some guy on YouTube the other day said it's some of the best content that we put out is the flat Earth stuff. So, going to appeal to everybody with this. But first, before we get into the debate that I recorded, it was probably in December sometime, one of my lives. Obviously, the flat earthers will descend upon it and pretend that I somehow picked the people that are on it and all that sort of stuff. But they do that quite a lot. There's no getting through to some people, let's put it that way. After this, no doubt my inbox and my sound, what do you call them, the voice messages that I'll be getting on Instagram, etc., will be someone like this. That'd be what I hear anyway, for all I've listened of them, telling me that I definitely wouldn't speak to this person, and I'm hand-picking people to speak to, when I'm literally sitting there on an open forum that anyone can join, and I haven't blocked anybody. All your heroes have blocked me, just mentioning that, right? But no, I haven't blocked anybody. They could all jump on and join, and I'll let them straight. If I see a name there that I recognise, they're coming straight up. I'm telling you that much. But obviously, you know, if it doesn't go the way that people in the flat Earth community want these conversations to go, then everyone's a shill, everyone's taking money, it's not fair, and all the rest of it, right? Anyway, a quick bit of feedback before we get into the debate then. And the feedback from last week's show. I've got it all here on my phone. If you're watching me, that doesn't look very professional, usually happy up on the screen, but it's all there on my phone. So the feedback from last week, let's have a look. It was I did the Daily What in the middle of the week, didn't I? And we covered about the Elon Musk with the Neuralink brain implant thing that they're doing now. That I've said like the good and the bad of it. Bit of a mixed reaction from the listeners here. So I got here from this is Bo. Bo is from Australia, Melbourne, I believe, but he claims on all of these clips to be from
China.
So let's see what Bo has to say. So he's written National. I spoke about National Backwards Day as well. There was a ridiculous day, National Backwards Day. So I spoke about that for a bit, said how ridiculous it was, what's the point of it. So he's wrote National Backwards Way, backwards. And then he's written, no, mate, or what else we would say. Let's find these little sound clips. I've got far too many. I need to cut these fuckers down here. This one.
No, mate.
All right. What's next? National Day. Unbelievable clowns. You're making me play all of these.
Unbelievable clown.
Unbelievable clowns. Thanks for the episode, Bo from China. And then Lewis Parker. So Lewis has been going backwards and forwards with me on the 9/11 stuff, which I will be pimping in a second. The Patreon that we do. It says, wonder how long it takes before he starts putting ads in their dreams. Scary how we're on the cusp of transhumanism. It is a little bit scary. That's the one way of looking at it, right? So say that I don't want to be a transhuman, not in that sense, because we can't discriminate in that way, right? But in the transhumanism, in the way that we are going to be downloading shit into our brains from the internet, that it looks to be in our future, which is a bit scary, let's be honest, right? But then you've got Adrian Torres, who says, my soulmate passed away. I have to be becoming paraplegic in the last 10 years of our 23 relationship. I'm assuming he means she was, after becoming paraplegic. This would have made our life so much easier, possibly cure it. He's wrote a longer version of that on the YouTube version of this show that we did, I did, the Daily What, about the Neuralink, which is on YouTube now. Go watch it. Explained like the difficulties he had and his partner had in life, and how this Neuralink chip that we can now, it's in its infancy at the moment. We can potentially use our phone with our mind and stuff if we have this link put in. But it's intended in the future to cure people that can't use their limbs and stuff, and people that have had accidents, people that was born a certain way. So as people like blind people could get their vision back, deaf people could get their hearing back. This is where we're attempting to go with this. That can only be good in that sense as long as they stop there with cures and we don't turn into machines. Then I haven't got an issue with it. Adrian's made a good point now, as he does. Adrian, a good listener, he's on the Patreon now, and he constantly challenges our views, which is good. I don't mind being challenged. Things that we say on the show, things that we've said many years ago that I might not potentially don't agree with anymore, because I'm open to persuasion, because I'm not I don't have this huge ego that I need to double down on everything, no matter how stupid it makes me look. Flat earthers. So it says here, speaking of flat earthers, Adam West, the Jaded Soul, says, hi Matt, been a while, how's things? Great show. I do enjoy these daily Watts. I haven't mentioned flat earth because I know it winds you up. No, it doesn't. But you've had a fair few shows since you, haven't you? I don't know what that end thing means there, Adam. It doesn't wind me up. Like, this is a misunderstanding. It doesn't wind me up. It irritates me what people send me. The topic doesn't wind me up. The topic's fun. I enjoy talking about the topic. The only reason I don't talk about it more often is because I'm trying to cater to everybody in the audience. That we've got people that like the ghost stuff, we've got people that like the conspiratorial stuff, we've got people that like the flat earth stuff, we've got people that like all different things, people that like the topical news stuff, people that just like the nonsense behind the scenes stuff, people that love the Patreon deep dives. We've got all of these kind of people, and the thing that annoys me about the flat earth stuff is the ridiculous, the lack of courage in it. The lack of courage of, in your case, Adam, and no disrespect, I'd like Adam, wouldn't even admit he was a flat earther. But this is the level of cowardice in the flat earth community. Even the big flat earthers won't, they know they don't want to be mocked, so they'll pretend they haven't got a flat earth model. Just so you can't attack what they believe, but then they can just be sarcastic to you. And the memes that they send and the ridiculous things about believing the sun is in the clouds and all that stuff, I just can't look at it anymore. It makes my brain hurt that anybody would believe that stuff. I can't be doing with it. And I just think, if you can't debunk that yourselves just by critical thinking properly, which you're all truthers apparently, but you're happy to lie, to double down on your position. And that's what annoys me about flat earth, not the topic. The topic's a laugh. It's just a topic. It doesn't make any difference to me. And if someone was to, and I'll say this again, and everyone says this, but I actually mean it. If someone was to give me indisputable evidence that I haven't seen before, because everything I've seen is completely blown out of the water by anyone, not by me, I'm nobody in particular, but if you actually watch it being discussed by anyone that knows anything, which none of you do, you will see how irrelevant and stupid it is, right? That's what annoys me about it, not the topic. I don't mind talking about it. I don't mind doing lives on it. It always gets good views, it always gets good numbers, and it's a fun topic, and I've got no problem with it. And I would be a flat earther if somebody would give me evidence, because I don't believe that everything we're told is true by any means. Anyway, got a bit more feedback here from the show before last weekend's show. So Bo again, so this is 3 of the same people. Bo again, thanks for your feedback. For maybe some different people because should be feeding back onto Spotify now. These people keep feeding back. The more feedback we get on Spotify, this is all replied to Spotify. These things. There's a thing under the show that says, "What did you think of this show?" And you can tell me what you thought of it. It says cue the flat earth. This is crap. This is crap, and all that, right? Do you research? So it says here from Bo, I saw a skinwalker once. Well, actually, there were 4 of them, so I guess that's a 4 skinwalker. Fucking hell. And people accuse us of dad jokes on this show. Well, we don't do them. How many times did I say them? 5 times. He tries to get all of the catchphrases in.
5 times!
By the way, Bo, I'm sure you won't do this because you're not even on the Patreon, to my knowledge. So you're probably a bit of a tight Aussie. But I've just released a load of new merch, and all of these catchphrases are going to be going on the merch, by the way. The same logo, but with 5 times. And I've done bouncy balls, mate, already, and there's a few more to come. And I'll drop the link in the show notes underneath the YouTube and underneath the all of the podcasts today. Adrian Torres, funny how everyone sees cryptids when they are revealed to the media. It's all crap except for werewolves. LOL. We are real. So he's calling himself a werewolf then, Adrian. Cheers, Adrian. Got a bit of a non-Coca-Cola in my hand here. Pepsi minimum. Lewis. So I mentioned the 9/11 with Lewis here. So it said, to answer your questions about the security, George Bush's brother was in charge of Securicom that provided the security for the towers. This is 9/11. That was talking about the Patreon show. So that's likely how they were able to pull it off. Fair point, Lewis. Not going to keep going backwards and forwards with you on that. I didn't know that. So maybe that could be, maybe there's something in that. I don't know. No, I don't really care. All of the other stuff, I think it's just, all I ask anyone to do is think critically about everything and don't just double down on your own opinion and ignore evidence to the contrary. So speaking of the Patreon, that was the 9/11 show that dropped about 2 or 3 weeks ago now. That is on patreon.com/Whatcast. Or you can go to Spotify and just look up Patreon, Whatcast Patreon, to subscribe to that. You've also got like all of the other old classic shows on there. Madeline McCann, 2-hour deep dive. Jill Dando, big deep dive on that. Really interesting. 7/7 bombings. Also got Sandy Hook on there. Controversial show. Satanic music industry. Holly Weird. Nickelodeon, fuckery, other shows. We've got about 12, 14 deep dives on there. Plus we've got travel casts on there talking about travels around the world, which is funny. Backstage stuff. Hate of the Week now lives on Patreon. We've got 150 shows or something on there. It's been going a long time now. Speaking of Patreon, the link for that will also be below, by the way, in the show notes and in the video. And speaking of Patreon, just a shout out to new patrons over the last month or so. Stevie, Dan, Tash, Lewis, and Adrian. Lewis and Adrian there in the comments there. Thanks for your support, all of you guys. And you're getting to listen to all of this good stuff on there. So cheers, everybody. So just to give context to the debate that's just about to happen, or the recording I'm about to play. So this is what happens generally when I do this. I'll talk to the room. It's all typing, so there's no point in recording any of that stuff. Then when it starts to get lively, I'll hit record on my audio and get it recorded. So it always starts at a weird time. So for a bit of context, from what I can remember, I was talking, people jump up to join or call in or whatever you want to call it. It's open to everybody before the crying starts. It will start. Because it always starts from numerous people, reasonable to unreasonable, and everyone was available to, and I was asking the whole way through, like usual, anyone a flat earther, please jump up. I believed I started this debate with a globe believer, or whatever you want to call them, and a flat earther. That's how it appeared to me. It didn't go that way, but that's how it appeared, and that's what was my intention, those people to go at it and me to kind of mediate, moderate, whatever. Then a flat earther a couple of flat earthers joined in along the way, and maybe another globe person, something like that. I can't really remember. I did give it a quick listen through to make sure it was decent, and it was. The subjects we talk about is the zooming in to see too far stuff, water curving and all that shit. What they say? No, it doesn't curve. But I've got to explain the Flurf 1000 or the Flurf 900. So I've done this on Hate of the Week a couple of weeks ago. If you're on Patreon, you'd kind of know about this. There's a camera that flat earthers absolutely love called the Nikon P900 or the Nikon P1000. And to them, this is the ultimate telescope. To them, this is the thing that disproves everything and you can see too far. And they actually believe that if a ship goes over the horizon, like even obscured until the very top of the ship with just like a mast sticking up above the horizon, if you zoom in with a P1000 or a P900, you could zoom the entire ship back in over the curve because the curve isn't there, according to them. They've also made this claim about a sunset as well. Right, you'll hear the conversations, but obviously when people are calling it a Flurf 1000 or a Flurf 900, that is mocking this camera because it's a meme now, because they all pretend they've got one and they cite it endlessly, and you'll hear it here. You could play Flurf bingo. Flurf, by the way, is flat earther. That's a Flurf, if you don't know. Right, so there's also the guy on that comes on the flat earther who's a very reasonable, nice guy. We just have a nice conversation. He talks about periscopes, etc. So anyway, that was a bit of context for where we're starting in case you get a bit confused. I don't remember everyone's name in it, anyone's name. One of the guys was called Austin. That's all I remember. But yeah, let's check it out anyway. Let's get there right now.
Got it.
Go completely zero speed and then go into the opposite direction, back and forth from tropical Cancer, Capricorn. What is the force that causes that to happen? Because it doesn't make any bit of sense.
Well, the sun is a luminary object, right? So it's not really bound by the other object.
Yeah, but you didn't answer my question. I didn't ask what the light was. I was asking what force creates the speed going from one spot to another, completely slowing down and going into a different direction.
Yeah, the internal
it goes down.
Energy of the sun itself.
Hold on a second. Is it a flat Earth? So sorry, mate.
That makes no sense.
Is a flat Earth claim then that the sun changes direction? That's a new one on me.
Yes, that's how they do their seasons from tropical Capricorn, tropical Cancer. When you look at their clock, it goes to one point from the southern hemisphere, or hemisphere, and it will go to the tropic of whatever Capricorn, and it will go down to the equator, go down, completely stop, and then go to the different direction and repeat itself back and forth. But he's just telling me nonsense, because what is the force that creates it to stop? Does it have brake pads? Does it change gears? Like, what is it?
Well, I mean, if you apply an energy in the opposite direction, an object has to come to a stop in order to change directions, right?
So what's the
So
energy?
it's not necessarily braking, but if you were to drive a car and then put a car into reverse and start driving in reverse, it would go the opposite direction without needing to have to brake, per se.
But someone's physically doing that to the car, though. What's doing it to the sun?
Yeah, that's mechanics. What is doing it when it floats over top of something?
Well, the internal energy of the sun has a direction of energy that goes in cycles throughout the year.
Okay, so is there opposing energy coming from the backside of what?
Yeah,
the sun.
What energy is that?
The internal energy that causes the same lumination of the sun.
So you're telling me it's a solar flare?
Well, it doesn't really have solar flares, but I would. It's a change in like the polarity of the energy.
And you have proof of this from what? David Weiss?
Just watching, observing the sun.
Hang on.
Okay, so yeah, you observe the sun, but you guys still think it disappears into a little tiny speck over our heads.
Hold on, I've got a question. Austin, if you're observing, if you get this from observing the sun, have you ever observed the sun break in the sky and go the other way?
The planet is too large to see that happen.
The planet, did you say?
Yeah, or okay, sure. I'm sorry, I'm not a flat earther.
No. I'm just getting the idea.
Oh, that's not cool.
You made more logical sense than they do.
I really thought you were. My apologies, but that was good.
So there comes a point where people can no longer defend it. Even though I've tried doing that before. I've tried being a flat earth, and I can't do it either.
Yeah, it's so quick to be just so hard to defend the ideas because they just don't make sense. So like they're saying in the comments, I have to just make random bullshit up to try to sound based off of a real understanding of these things to use that and then try to convert it around into a misunderstanding.
I'll tell you what, though. I guarantee that if you stayed here long enough and kept that up, you would pick up a load of flat earth followers thinking you was talking total sense.
Yeah, I had a few of them telling me I was talking like straight truth and stuff like that in the comments. W. Austin.
Yeah. W. Austin, the sun changes direction. Yeah, it just breaks and reverses. But people believe this is what I mean. Like, people just so willing to believe it. Is there any flat earthers want to come in with we've got a kind of a flurf wannabe in here and someone else. They never want to come up, do they? Does anybody else, like a globe person, want to come up and chat and sort of put the fishing rod out there?
It would have made more sense if you said like the unicorns pushed it.
Yeah, I don't really take religious text as factual information, though, so no. I don't really care what it said in whatever verse.
I was just hoping, like, somebody, every time I get on, I always want that question to be asked, because they never say anything about that effect of happening, what the sun, quote unquote, does. And that's,
I didn't know that was a claim.
Any crickets. Oh yeah, because
I know they claim it changes between tropics, but I didn't think they claimed it went the other way.
Well, it'd have to, right? So if you look at their map, they say that, it goes down and then back up.
I'm just curious.
Down.
Yep, go on. I've got someone here. Go on. Dead to the whatever that is.
Every ancient culture in history, from the Egyptians, the Assyrians, the Norse pagans, the Sumerians, every single ancient culture in history was smart enough to understand a flat earth cosmology. Why can you guys not comprehend it?
So let me ask you this.
Because we're smarter than back 3,000 years
on
ago.
A giant ball that's... Oh, okay. Well, if you put a person on a giant ball that's so large that from your local perspective...
Ask and run. He's gone.
Yeah.
I knew he was a flat earther just after he said an ancient, and I was like, okay.
Me too.
But what about the Mayans?
Yeah, he uses phones, but the ancient people didn't have phones back then either, so, and all this technology, but now we do, so, gee, wonder why. Maybe we're smarter and we can decide.
Why were they smart enough to communicate without phones and we're not?
But, they always go back to the 3,000-year-old maps, too, and they believe that's real, but they can't, I don't even know how they navigate just through their car to get to where they have to go without pulling out their flat math out. So
if you're a flat earther in the requests, let me know, because they're getting quite a few requests now. But what I hate is when
also, globe Earth has been something that's kind of existed for over 2,000 years. So even before we had all of these things. And I like to bring up that the Mayans calculated the circumference of the sun using the transit of Venus. So,
why is this dead to the world person? He's jumped back into the room and is just being abusive in the room now. But didn't hang around on the.
That's what flat earthers actually really do. That's what they're like. I watch them all the time, but they say the same thing over and over again, but we're attacking them all the time, and then they'll even though that they say that we parrot everything, but we actually don't, because we have the math, we have the science, we have that, but they say the exact same
Exact.
things from Caleb to Eric Dubay.
2012. The calendar simply ended in 2012.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like they predicted the end of the world at 2012. It's just they stopped calculating the months and days and stuff.
Well,
like,
I've been
what are they
told.
gonna do, sit there and do it for the end of time?
We did a show about the Mayan calendar back in the day, and I was told by numerous people that actually the world did end in 2012. We're just all in some kind of purgatory or whatever they call it now.
I feel like the person that was doing that calendar just eventually died, or he got real bored, and then you got people like, oh my God, the world's going to come to an end. No, he just probably died, the guy that was doing it.
Yeah. Like,
But then hang on, let's see who's in the box. Yeah. Is anyone there a flat earther? Oh, well, he's trying to come back up. Let's let him back up. Dead to the world, you're live. I literally can't be bothered with dickheads today. Any flat earthers want to come up that actually want to say something? I bet he finds his tongue now he's back in the room again.
Maybe he's got a bad signal.
Maybe.
mm-hmm.
Doesn't seem to stop him typing aggressively. Who's this? Let's try this person.
May need to play the flat earth bingos for everything that they say, the exact same thing.
Win it within 10 minutes.
What's up, y'all?
5 seconds, really.
All
Yeah.
the way down.
Hello, who's this?
Hey, this Mr. T, Sheetman. I want to say debunk the periscope that Navy that our military used.
I don't know I don't understand the question. Say again.
How far can you see with a periscope?
Never looked at periscopes.
You all use telescopes. How far can you see with a telescope?
I've no idea. Depends on the telescope, surely.
In
Oh, well,
what direction to the atmosphere?
Say again, Austin.
The best you see 93 million miles with a telescope.
Well, so the thing with a telescope like that is when you're looking at like the sun and trying to do like solar observations, is the atmosphere is only 61 miles above us. And the sun is very big and the sun is very bright. So yes, you can see 93 million miles to the sun through a telescope. You can also see 100 million miles
With a
or
telescope.
1 billion miles.
So can you see my house from your house?
No, because the earth isn't flat. That's why.
The earth's in the way.
So if with no buildings or anything, you telling me you can see from California to I'll say New York.
With no
No,
buildings.
because
the earth's
the
not
earth
flat.
isn't flat. To you
With-
all,
with
the
a
earth is
telescope.
flat, then it should work under yours, but it doesn't.
No. I'm saying with a telescope, you should be able to see
No,
that far, right?
because the
Why?
earth isn't flat. I don't know how that's hard
No,
to
I'm
understand.
saying if it was flat,
Yeah.
Yes,
you would be able to see that with a telescope. You can see
With
that.
no obstructions, yes, but
You
the
actually
curve is the
Yeah, no,
obstruction.
So with a periscope, you can see very, very far, right?
No, because of the curve.
What? Wait a minute. So when they pull up out the water in the ocean, are they looking at a curve or looking at something flat?
they're looking at a relatively flat area locally. but
And they can see
curves-
and they can see for like 6 or 7 miles or so, right?
Yeah, that's pretty reasonable.
Hold on. I just
And
want to
it's
address
curve.
something. There's someone writing in the room.
Curve.
Hang on. We get back to this. There's someone writing in the room. He's just literally quoted one of the famous flat Earth memes and thinks he's being original. You know the black swan with the two oil rigs. There's a meme of it with the two oil rigs saying how far away they are, and underneath it says "bye bye ball." He's just literally quoted that in the room like he's thought of that himself. Can I just ask him because he's saying what you got about it? I'm
By the way, I
saying,
got bingo already.
do
Sorry.
you realise that was only taken one time, that picture, and every other time they go to that exact point, they can't see any oil rigs whatsoever? So how do you explain the fact that they can only see that on that one occasion and take that picture on that one occasion? Yes. Those oil rigs are at different heights every time they're observed. Why is that?
Were you talking to me?
I know, I'm talking to this guy. User numbers. I've got my own black swan. Go on then. What's your own black fog? Someone just says. Oh God, so predictable. Anyway, I've just wanted to address that. Get back to what you guys are talking about because that's irrelevant. I just wanted to laugh at him for reading out a meme.
No, I was just saying you can't debunk the periscope.
Yeah, but like 5 or 6 miles, if you're pretty high above the surface of the water, is not that far.
You say pretty high above?
Yeah.
No, we're talking about a periscope.
70, 80 feet.
We're talking about a periscope.
Yeah.
It's not high above the water.
What's the rate of curvature?
Hello?
How high is that periscope then? How high is it above the water? How high is that periscope?
Periscope sticks up out the water. That's what the submarine.
Right,
do.
but how high?
I don't know, not that high, by a few feet.
Yeah, so at level with the ocean, you can see about 3 miles. You can see 3 miles around you in a circle.
You shouldn't be able to see that, should you?
With the curvature of the Earth, you can see about 3 miles. Yes.
Until the curvature blocks the
don't that don't add up with the equation that you all been using for the circumference.
But if something is taller, like if you take a battleship, battleships aren't really used, but
we're
if you
talking
take
on the water, stay on the water,
like
stay on the water, stay on the water, stay on the water. We on the water. We ain't gonna go up into the battleship. We talking about submarine
but
that's
the
underwater.
object you're looking at, the submarine is looking at an object out on the ocean, and the object is taller than the ocean.
No. You're changing it. See, don't change it.
I'm not changing
The
it.
submarine not looking out the water at an object. The submarine is just looking out at the water.
So it's not looking at, then it can see about 3 miles.
Nah, I think it's 6 or 7.
No, it's about 3.
Well, we might.
3.
I don't know. So even in 3 miles, it should have been in dip, according to you all.
That's
No,
where the
should be able to
dip
see 3 miles.
starts. That's where the dip starts, is after 3 miles. It starts dipping where you can see the bottom of the boat start
8 inches.
disappearing as the further it goes, which you can see in your Flurf 1000s that you guys use all the time. But
Or
it
Flurf
seems
900s. Come on.
Somehow you all think that you can see the boat because you zoomed all the way back and then zoomed all the way in, and then still the bottom of the boat's still missing. So I mean,
No, only way the bottom of the boat is missing because it's in the water. But I ain't even talking about that.
It's behind the curve. That's why it's
I'm
missing.
not even talking about that. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about
You're talking about the
your
same
8
thing as what
inches
we're
per
talking
square.
about.
I'm talking about your 8 inches per square. Ain't that what you all use?
That's what everybody uses, even you Flurfs.
Exactly. So it should.
But it doesn't work on yours because you're playing.
I ain't talking about mine. I'm not talking about mine. I'm talking about
so it
you.
wouldn't work.
No, but
I'm talking about
the whole thing is,
debunking the
right,
periscope.
this
Debunk
person,
the periscope.
I can't say your name, but this person here, right? So the whole thing about this live is I want flat earthers to actually talk about flat earth, but none of you can. There shouldn't be any horizon.
I'm trying to get you. I'm saying the periscope shows you there's no curve.
Does it?
And oblique does not mean spear. So you can't have it both ways.
Let me ask you something. So if you're
you got to answer a question before you ask one. That ain't making sense.
We already have. We answered it many times, and you just completely ignore it. So it's
so you think that was
3
the answer to the
miles.
periscope?
3 miles.
That's not debunking the periscope. Go ahead.
Okay, so how about I just use my own eyes with your Flurf 1000? Okay, so why is it
You
that
use your
I
own
can
eyes,
be?
black.
Why can I be on a cruise ship, right? When on
Start
one.
answering the question
Okay,
with a
and
question.
so no, I'm asking why couldn't I not see Florida when I shipped out or disembarked? After a certain point, I could not see Florida. I should technically, by your Flurf land, that I should be able to see Florida no matter what, no matter how far away. Which
He's got a point. Why can't he zoom Florida back in? Why can't he zoom Florida back in with his Flurf 1000?
Because I had a very.
know.
Yeah, exactly. So you can't claim that if you don't even know it yourself. So
I didn't claim what? I didn't claim anything. I didn't claim nothing. What you talking about?
Yeah,
I
you
ain't
did.
claim what?
You said that you couldn't see a certain distance. or you should be able to see it with a periscope, even though you've never seen or been in a submarine to see a periscope.
No, that ain't what I said. That ain't what I said. So you mixing up a lot of stuff.
Can you see?
You're talking about.
Do you accept that there's bottom up obstruction to faraway objects over sea?
Bottom. Say that one more time. It was a little hard here.
Yeah, sorry, bottom up obstruction. So do all objects on the water get obstructed from the bottom up slowly.
It's not just the water. Not just water.
Regardless.
Well, those big waves that water doesn't curve. Remember, waves that don't curve, even though the waves are curved, and water always finds.
You talking about waves? What if it's not any waves?
Waves, water curves. So that's a wave.
What if there's not waves? When did
Hold on a second.
Water curve at?
Hold on a second. So Lloyd, there's someone in the chat is saying if you zoom in, you can bring things back over the curve. This is what they always say, right? So there's a picture. So if you could say a wind farm at sea, right? So you've got all these little windmill things, the big windmill things, and some of them you can only see the top kind of propeller thing on the wind. You can't see any of the mast that it's on. So Lloyd, are you telling me that if I got a Flurf 1000 and I zoomed into that wind farm, the whole entire post that it's on would suddenly reappear from behind the horizon for me? It would. Are you saying it would?
Even though there's a physical barrier.
Physical crisp barrier.
The water.
There's an actual video of that, and it does not come up above the horizon. Yeah. All you do is you zoom in, and the top of it is the only part that's visible.
I got a good one. I want to send it to you.
All you have to do is show their videos.
Atmosphere. You don't understand anything, do you? You're a flat earther.
No, because he thinks they all think that somehow the image can wrap around the curve of water, a physical barrier of water, and you can actually see the waves on that edge of that layer where this starts hiding whatever's behind that curve. And they think that because their Flurf has magic and unicorns wrapped around it, that it can bend it over and still see the bottom and the base of it, even though they physically can't, because they're trying to fit their narrative, even though they're so destroyed on everything possible.
I'm still kind of stuck on the periscope.
When you think it's a sphere, and every scientist tell you it's not a sphere.
Every scientist says it's not a sphere. Did you just say?
Yeah,
another lie from a Flurf.
They tell you.
Hold on a second. You just made the claim.
Name me one scientist that says it's a sphere. Name me one scientist.
Everyone, name me one scientist that says we live on a flat land.
I got you. It's oblique.
He's playing semantics. I got it.
You saying round? We saying it's round. What do you mean? We saying it's round?
No, y'all say it's flat.
The Earth is flat. Yes.
No.
Why is there two celestial points of rotation in the sky? There's never a Flurf that can answer this one.
Here's another one I want to ask you, since you're a real Flurf. So so the sun travels up the Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn. What's the force that causes the sun to completely stop and go in the opposite direction?
As above my head.
Okay,
then you're way over my head. You way over my head.
You know what? That's maybe you need to look at other information instead of David Weiss.
What do you think though?
Too much into it.
What do you mean?
What do your senses tell you?
The funny thing is, I don't have to look into it. It's very common, sensible thing.
No, you're actually not. You're using your own common sense. You're using someone else.
Let me ask you another question.
You with your periscope, you're looking too far into it with your periscope.
Yeah. So have you ever used a solar filter? Have you ever used a solar filter?
No.
No, I don't want to look at the sun like that. What's that going to do for me?
To see the size of the sun at all times.
Say it again?
So you can see the angular size of the sun at all times and realize it doesn't shrink throughout the day.
Okay.
It would do, wouldn't it?
What does that prove? That proves it's round?
It proves that the sun is not local, moving away. It's proving it's far away.
Round? Yes. All right, let's say the sun not local. Let's say it's not local. Does that prove it's round or flat? No.
If it were not local, then we would always be able to see it no matter what time of day.
The answer to this question is that y'all don't know either. That's the question.
Well, we
don't really know what's
You're
going
not
on.
saying you don't know because it deconstructs your whole point of view.
No, I'm trying. The point I'm making is we've all been lied to and deceived, so we don't know what's going on.
How do you know?
If you look at
just because you don't understand it doesn't mean we don't understand it.
Okay, all right. If y'all understood it, you wouldn't have such a hard time proving it to everybody.
We don't.
promise.
We just deny
The reason
evidence.
it's difficult,
No,
exactly.
it
The
ain't
reason it's
just me.
difficult is because
No.
everything is nothing's. What is acceptable evidence to you? Like, what would you need to see for it to be proven to you?
What would I need to see? I'd like to see NASA do some real shit. I ain't gonna lie.
You can just say everything NASA does is fake. Like,
do
you
believe
say, I want to see them do
If
real
you fake
things. You
one,
have to be
I'm
in the
gonna say it like
rocket ship.
this.
Become an
I'ma say it like
astronaut
this.
then. Become
No,
an
I'm-
astronaut.
I don't want to talk over nobody. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Like, you're just sitting here saying that you want to see NASA do some real shit, but you're
Yeah.
denying every real shit that they
Yeah.
do. So for
I
you,
have to.
you would have to be an astronaut in the rocket ship going to
Yeah.
space.
Basically,
If you-
basically.
Go
if they-
become an astronaut.
If they made you an astronaut, and put you in a rocket to space, would
I
you?
would have to probably see that.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
if they did that, if they offered you that opportunity and you took it and you went to space, would you say the window was a TV?
Window was a TV.
Yeah. Would you still
No,
deny
man,
what
but
you
I'm
saw
probably-
with
they
your own
probably-
eyes?
I would probably, honestly, but at this juncture, I probably would have to actually do something like that to believe them at this point.
Yeah.
Because I'm like this. Once you lie to me over and over, I'm not gonna believe nothing you say.
Yeah, but you're saying they're lying. What are they lying about specifically? Name one lie that has been verified to be an actual lie.
That they do some of these things from a studio inside of NASA. The fact that they actually do that kind of stuff is a problem.
What do you mean?
And they
Like-
send up satellites on balloons and all this kind of stuff too. I mean, they do too much stuff that's
Are
questionable.
you talking about
I gotta
weather
admit it.
balloons? Weather balloons have never been lied about. That's a real thing.
Weather
that people
balloons,
use.
Yeah.
satellites, we
Weather
can't
balloons.
tell what they're doing. We don't know what they're doing. Satellites, weather balloons, we don't
I
know.
can get a telescope
don't
and look at the ISS. I can look at the International Space Station
Man, they-
in orbit without any balloons
Nah,
on it.
that was
No balloons on it.
Y'all don't. I see now. Y'all don't really understand how this world works. Y'all believe. Y'all believe. That's a problem. That you can't believe nothing that goes on here, man. Yeah,
I mean, you
gotta-
can just
you gotta
sit there and be paranoid and say everything's a lie. Sure, you can
Well,
deny
I'm just telling
reality.
you. I'm here to tell you. You have to question everything, man. I promise you, you have to question everything. Don't just take what they say for a grain of
I'll
salt.
question everything. I'll do a
Please
podcast.
do.
I've done a podcast for 3.5 years. We do loads of conspiracy theories. We do all of this weird shit on there, and I research all of it. And I've thoroughly researched this topic. And I had David Weiss on my show and spoke to him for over an hour. By the way, complete con man. And he more than anybody convinced me that the Earth wasn't flat. If that conversation, with his demands beforehand, with his insistence on pushing his app, with his inability to answer questions, even though claiming that he's a truther. If you're a truther, then something goes against your beliefs, surely you would at least look at that thing and see why isn't this working? Like, we're asking you questions about this. I asked you about the two celestial points of rotation in the sky, and all you said was above my head, and changed the subject.
No, I ain't changing the subject. It's just
No, you did.
something that I
Why
really don't
doesn't
know.
that bother you? Is my question. Why doesn't that bother you? If you want the
Why
truth, why that, you know, that can't work here, right? You know that cannot work here. So why doesn't that bother you enough to look at it a bit deeper?
I just haven't had a chance to get to that.
Host fluoridated. These idiots in the what debunk what I just said. 33 buds of consciousness. There's 2 points of rotation in the sky. I'm not fluoridated to think that, right? That's a fact. This is what I'm talking about, right? You won't answer the question.
Hey, hold on. What's your name? I wanted to so I can send you something if if I wanted to.
Sorry,
a
what's
video
that,
or
Mike?
whatnot.
Say
Ain't
again.
gonna be nothing crazy.
I'm pretty sure these videos will be real credible.
Well, you
No,
want to
I mean,
show me a
I mean-
video? Look, how long is it? I've got about 10 minutes before I've got to jump off of it. So what
Right.
video is it? Like, is it going to take ages?
I'm trying to think of which one. I had a few that I was thinking about, but it's off the top of my head, just a couple of little flat earth models that I've seen that actually work to what I was thinking, and I could probably try to answer a couple of your questions on that you're asking me right now that I really
Just
can't
ask,
think
so,
about right now.
so Austin asked about the sun and what causes the sun to change direction. Have you ever witnessed that happening? And I'm asking about 2 points of rotation in the sky.
I saw a model where it's doing like a figure eight. So I guess that probably would be yours description of change in direction.
No, that's not what that's what we see because of the angle and the tilt of the Earth. I want to know what the actual force is that creates the sun to stop completely and go in the opposite direction.
Shit, the same force that created it. Shit, I don't know.
Exactly.
Let me ask a simple question. If you're at a port at some coastline and you watch a ship sail away to the point that it disappears bottom up over the horizon, why are you unable to bring that ship back into image using some sort of camera capable of zooming in that far?
Fluff 1000.
I've actually seen that happen. I got the video.
No, you haven't.
I do.
So not the ship getting small and then it's still being obstructed.
I have the video. I forget who sent it to me.
The full ship from the bottom to the top being fully in view.
Yes, sir. I had a video.
You are the only one that does that.
I'm gonna try to send it to you. Say it again.
Okay.
Say it again. I forget who sent it to me, but one of my Flat Earth friends on here, they sent me the video. And so I got the video.
I think I know the video. It's one where the ship
of the boat right here in front of me. I say, 300-400 yards out. And then he kept the video. The boat went out till we couldn't see it no more. He zoomed it all the way the fuck back in.
No.
Yeah, I've never seen that.
It appears to be. So what about if one's like obscured all the way to the top of the boat, right? So you can only see the mast, the top things on the boat, right?
No, sir.
When it's zoomed in, you're bringing it the whole boat back over the horizon, not the boat shrinking until your eyes can no longer see it.
I have the video.
I'd love to see it because I've never seen it.
You see my name? Send me a friend request or something.
Okay,
I'm gonna send it right to you.
We'll do. Just follow me on here now. I'll follow you. Hold on.
I think I do got you. Hold on.
You realize you would be the only person with this video.
What's your name on it?
Whatcast podcast is up there.
Yeah, you're on Whatcast.
Okay, let me ask the same question, but with the sun instead. Throughout the day, every day, you can go to like a beach and you can watch the sun go across the sky, stay the same size the entire time, and then dip below the horizon, get cut in half until it gets lower and lower under the horizon. And then when you zoom back in to where the sun went below the horizon, you cannot pull the sun back into focus.
Exactly.
Yes, you can.
You can't. It's never happened.
You got a camera. You can zoom it back in.
Are you suggesting that you've got a video where the sun is half obstructed?
I don't have a video of the sun. I don't have a video of the sun.
And someone zoomed the whole sun back?
No, I didn't say that.
Okay, so what?
Putting words in my mouth?
No, okay. Sorry if I did that, but that's exactly the same principle as you're talking about with the boat.
Yeah, it is. That's why I said it'll come back because I've seen the boat. I've seen it happen with the boat. I got the video.
What's the name of the video?
Yeah.
So I can look it up right now and watch it.
I can look it up right now.
Yeah. Ringing. What'd you say? I'm gonna send it to all of y'all.
Yep. I'd love to see it, and then we'll come back next time I'm on a live.
What I need to look up on YouTube. What do I need to look up on YouTube?
I don't know, man. I can't think of the name of it or the video. Shit. I don't know the name of it. I promise I'm gonna send it to you. If I wouldn't even say it if I didn't have it. I promise you. Somebody sent it to me. Somebody in the comments probably got it and probably could send it to one of y'all while we talking on the phone.
I guarantee I'd have seen it already.
I gotta go back through all of my TikTok save stuff to find it, but it ain't too far, I know, because I ain't been on too many lives to
No, that's fine.
Get to talk with you all.
Appreciate you coming on, by the way. Appreciate you coming on.
All right, I appreciate y'all too, man. But ask the Navy about that periscope. All right.
Ship being zoomed back in from below the horizon. Let's see if that brings it up. Oh, there's a Flurf 1000 max zoom test here.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of videos of small boats off on the horizon that they can still see with the naked eye,
that's all you're
and then
say.
putting that back in.
Yeah, that's what I've got. I can even see by the video with the point of the ship at its furthest point that it isn't obstructed from the bottom up at all.
Yeah.
Like, it just goes out of vision. Oh wow! I don't know. I don't want to be too harsh, but what can you say?
Yeah, man, I'm trying to hang up so I can send you out these damn videos. What the hell?
Okay, cool.
Kick
I
me
think
out
I've
of
just
here, man.
watched it, but I'll send it anyway. Right, anyway, guys, I've got to go pick my son up now. So thank you all for joining. Cheers for everyone in the comment section, even the dickheads. And we'll catch you another time. But everyone, drop a follow. I'll follow you all back, and we can do this again another time. Cheers, everybody.
All right. See you, man.
Yep. See you later. Bye-bye.
Dasco bam bam boo boo.
There you go then. So for those wondering, that was the flat earth debate there. For those wondering, there was no video forthcoming as proof. In fact, I don't think that guy even added me. I tried to find him and I couldn't afterwards. And this is a common story here. It just is. It's a common thing with these flat earthers. It's like they're always going to show you something. Because I know exactly the video he was talking about. So the video, not just the video, there's loads of videos. David Weiss shows them all the time. It's when the ship, there was a small boat, not a ship, not big ships. There was a small boat, and it's kind of not over the curve yet, but in the distance, too far that you can resolve it with your eyes. And you can zoom in and the whole thing is there. But as you zoom out, it looks like it's disappearing behind or just getting it gets so small that you can't see it, but it looks like it's disappearing. And it isn't disappearing from the bottom up because it isn't over the curve yet. They all deny this and say, look, it is. But what I want you to do is wait. There's plenty of videos or plenty of times where you could get binoculars or whatever, see a boat, and you can see it's obstructed from the bottom up, which is completely impossible. You can shout perspective at me all you want to. It's not how that works. And zoom that back over the curve, or ignore boats completely, because why would it matter what the object is? You've all seen, including flat earthers, you've all seen the sun half obstructed at the horizon, right? If you can zoom a boat back in when it's half obstructed by the curve, or by perspective, as you would call it, then you could also zoom in with your Flurf 1000 and bring the entire sun back over. So to have a full sun again. And if you laugh, oh, it doesn't mean it like, well, it's the same thing. It's the exact same thing you're claiming that camera does. If the sun never sets, which you claim it doesn't, you claim it just disappears, gets smaller and smaller and smaller until you can't see it no more, and then it's dark, then half of the sun is an optical illusion in your eyes, even though I've never seen any experiment that hides something behind a curve. I've seen plenty that bring things over when you pour a denser medium on top of a curved object. So there's plenty of videos of that out there. I've seen them all. Never seen one when you pour something on and it pushes something down below the horizon or half obstructs it. So if you've got one of them, send it to me. I'll definitely look at it. You won't. And there was Caleb is a big TikTok flurf. Caleb Kruger. It's not his name, but it's the Dunning-Kruger, meaning people that assume they've got massive intelligence, even though they're limited. And he got absolutely annihilated by Bob, the science guy, the other day. And he tries all the old tactics of leaning in and pretending the other bloke's an idiot. And Flat Earth rock star Witsit gets it. Who Caleb really wants to be. Was thoroughly embarrassed. Even 2-on-1, he was with Jeren from Jerenism. It was another big flat earther. It was on Beyond the Curve, actually, the Netflix documentary on the topic. And this guy called Will someone, I can't remember his name now. Apologies out there. I'll try and find his name and put it in the show notes. But he did the thing that you need to do with these guys. don't let them talk about space relativity and all this stuff that people don't really know much about, and try and confuse and play semantics with words and try and make people look stupid. Hold their feet to the fire on their own drivel. They all deny having a model because they know then it'd be testable and they'd look stupid. So they all say, it's not my model, it's not my... And Whitsitt and Caleb are the two worst for that. They have any debate, they start the debate by saying, it's not for me to prove anything. I don't have the burden of proof. I haven't got a model. Let's drill down and laugh at you and everything you believe. Well, this guy was not having that at all. He was asking all these questions about, what do you call it? Eclipses. And the sun's speeding up and slowing down over time, and all of this other stuff, and they didn't have anything for him at all. I felt embarrassed for him. I don't actually mind Whitsitt. I quite like listening to his debates. He's quite funny. He's not as condescending, although he does get condescending when he's against the ropes. But he's interesting to listen to, and you can see why he has a following, because he just uses a lot of long words that people are not going to know the meaning of, and if he gives the confirmation bias they need. Caleb's just a fucking moron. I don't know how he convinces anybody. It's blotchy in the face. The minute you say anything, his face goes all blotchy and red, and this bloke, honestly, just looking at him makes you feel ill. Anyway, just wanted to clear that up at the end there, that no, I didn't get any videos, didn't get any more evidence. Nobody gave me anything after that. Some bloke started talking about this thing that's apparently on a NASA website, which has been debunked thoroughly, about that they admit that you're flying this simulation over a flat, non-rotating plane, but they also don't read the rest of the pages. They just read one paragraph, and then they see that the whole thing is made up, basically, about a rigid plane which don't exist in the non-atmosphere that don't exist. They don't read any of that out. It's just cherry picking, nitpicking all the time. And that's why I like exposing it on their show, even though it pisses off some of the listeners. It's just, you need to tell the truth. That's just my opinion. Anyway, thanks for listening today. I don't know what we're going to be doing next week. Yeah, we've got Patreon in a couple of weeks. We'll be doing David Icke on Patreon, breaking down all of David Icke's beliefs, so whether there's any credibility to any of them, what the evidence is. Probably be doing that with Lee and Amelia. Next week we'll probably be back to, as long as Lee's back, I'm not going to force him or put any pressure on him to do anything. I've got a couple more of these recordings that I could put out, and there'll probably be more to come as well. Because, I'm sure some of the listeners would be itching for me to get beaten by one of these heroes that have all blocked me. They've all blocked me, by the way. So there's no chance of me speaking to any of these people on TikTok. I've never conversed with any of them, but they've all blocked me because they're all so brave. They know I won't play this stupid game and allow my ego to get in the way of anything. I'll just ask them questions and then watch them squirm, but they don't want to know. But I'm sure there's more of that to come. Anyway, enough of my patting myself on the back and calling myself awesome for a show. Yeah.
So maybe change the subject.
Hopefully it didn't annoy too many people, but I like these debates. I think they're interesting, and I know a big portion of the audience does too. So thanks for listening today and watching here on the Tube Review or Rumble, wherever we are. This is going out. So
do you want some? I'll give it you.
If you want some more Flat Earth, I'll give it you. Right, this is Whatcast. I am Matt, and for another week, we are out. We'll catch you later.
You have been listening to Whatcast. Follow and contact us on the Twitter, the Book of Face, and the Gram of Insta at Whatcast with a K.